going on, man? No, you good.
All right, good evening, and thank you all so much for being with us this afternoon for our public hearing and regularly scheduled county council meeting. Our first order of business is our public hearing for ordinance number 205-12, an ordinance authorizing the enlargement of the Joint County Industrial Park between Florence County, South Carolina, and Williamsburg County, South Carolina, to include Project Split Shot and other matters related thereto. As always, the public hearing guidelines. The purpose of the public hearing is to obtain comments from the public regarding the specific subject matter listed on the agenda. Citizens who plan to speak are requested to sign in upon arrival prior to the start of the public hearing. The chairman will open the floor and ask that each speaker state his or her name and address, including street, city, state, and zip code. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the chairman. I repeat, each speaker is limited to three minutes unless additional time is granted by the chairman. Those in attendance are asked to refrain from any disruptive behavior, including clapping or making noise of any kind. Anyone who disrupts the public hearing will be asked to leave. The chairman and all of the members of county council are interested in gathering factual information related to the subject matter that's being discussed. All participants are asked to abide by these guidelines so the public hearing can proceed smoothly and will allow everyone who wishes to speak the opportunity to do so. All right. Public hearing for ordinance number 2025-12, an ordinance authorizing the enlargement of the Joint County Industrial Park between Florence County, South Carolina, and Williamsburg County, South Carolina, to include Project Split Shot and other matters related thereto. First person, Ms. Cheryl Lane.
Am I working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening, Ms. Lane.
Thank you. Cheryl Lane, 76 Mount Vernon Road, Greeleyville, South Carolina. To all councilmen and Mr. Washington, if you cannot answer these questions here tonight in any type of discussion, then you cannot vote tonight on Project Slipshot. I believe that you would have to vote on a continuance like you did at the last council meeting about the voting issues in Greeleyville. Therefore, I challenge you to ask yourself, if you were sitting in our places and all we had was a pseudonym coming into the back door until we found the ordinance on the back table, ask yourself, how would you feel if you were us and all you knew was what was on the agenda at the last meeting, which was the pseudonym Project Slipshot? How transparent are you being as individual representatives and our local governmental body with the people that you represent? So I ask yourself, if you were in our shoes, could you answer the question, what is Project Slipshot? Is it owned by a foreign entity? Is it an established company? Does it have a good track record in industry? What is the location of the project? What portion will be in the Williamsburg County? Have environmental issues been considered? What are the absolute costs and benefits for the county? Not just a percentage. What are the real numbers? Is there a fee in lieu of taxes on the table or soon to come before the council for this Project Slipshot? Is there already a fee in lieu of taxes that this project will be grandfathered into? Has the comprehensive plan been considered in this process? I will remind you, grant funding paid for the recent comprehensive plan. Does any part of the Project Slipshot contradict the plan, such as flood hazard zones, wetlands, and other cultural and historical issues? Is there any type of waste that will be created by the project that has hazardous complications for adjacent landowners? How will they be notified? In addition, There are other things on the table tonight which I know I'm not supposed to address, but in the essence of my first paragraph about transparency, do we know what Brownsfield EPA grant is? We, the citizens present here, and the ones watching by live stream and later when the video is watched by those who are at work or sick or elderly, want to have a transparent, responsive, and accountable Williamsburg County Council. So I ask yourselves, if you can answer all of those questions, then please share that information with us because we don't know what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lane. All right, Dr. Lithonia Bennett. Dr. Bennett. Good evening, Dr. Bennett.
How are you guys?
Just fine, thank you.
I am here today, one, to co-sign what Dr. Lane just said, that this project Slipshot has to it falls within zoning, and so we don't have a Board of Zoning and Appeals, which therefore denies the citizens their right to due process. So just co-signing what she said. I appear before council today, not out of personal grievance, but to hold up a mirror so our citizens can see clearly whether their elected body is governed by ego or by oath. Your oath is not to a single district. It is to the best interest of the entire county and to the Constitution that guarantees due process to every resident. That obligation does not change because criticism is uncomfortable. I ask this council to reflect honestly on what message is being sent when young men in this county see stagnation, hopelessness, and institutional indifference instead of leadership, opportunity, and lawful governance. We continue to watch them cycle into violence, incarceration, and despair, while the structural changes that could redirect them toward constructive futures are delayed, dismissed, and deliberately avoided. What I have experienced is not disagreement, it is resistance. Resistance not to bad ideas, but to accountability. More energy has been spent attempting to put me in my place than engaging with the substance of what I have proposed for the benefit for our communities. When my concern gained public traction, we see last-minute imitations of the very ideas I raised, offered not as collaboration, but as damage control. This is not leadership. I formally request the formation of a Board of Zoning Appeals. Council refused to act despite knowing that a BZA is required to provide citizens the legal right to appeal zoning and permitting decisions. Without it, residents are denied due process. That denial is not accidental. It has allowed unchecked agendas to proceed without lawful challenge. Additionally, the process used to seat an independent planning board is fundamentally flawed. Members have not been adequately trained on their duties to serve the citizens, not the council. They have not formally taken their oath, yet they are permitted to approve and sign off on a comprehensive plan that governs land use, development, and generational outcomes in this county. It is not a procedural oversight, that is a governance failure. I am not here to embarrass anyone. I am here to insist that this council govern lawfully, transparently, and in good faith, because our citizens are watching, our youth are watching, and history will record whether you choose comfort over courage.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. Mr. Tim Olson. Good evening, Mr. Olson.
My name is Timothy Olson, 964 Hebron Road, Cade, South Carolina, 29518. The reason I'm here is I'm trying to get water, county water or city water or something out to my house on Hebron Road. And there seems to be so much confusion between the county, the city, Barano, and Lake City as far as who's going to provide water to my area out there. There's water on both ends of me 2 miles away that the city has done and the county has done, Williamsburg County and the city of Williamsburg.
Mr. Holson, I have to stop you. This public hearing is only for ordinance number 2025-12, the ordinance
Okay,
about the enlargement of the Joint County Industrial Park
maybe you can
between
tell me
Florence
when I can
County and
come
Williamsburg.
discuss this.
I have your information, and what I'll do is I will contact you tomorrow and schedule an appointment,
Please do
and we'll sit down and we'll discuss it.
talk to all these people. and
Yes, sir.
nobody else.
Well, I don't think I've had a conversation with you, but I look forward to it. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. All right. That ends the public hearing. I do want, I'd like to ask Mr. Hickson Kopp, our Economic Development Economic Development Director, if he would please come forward. I want to clear the air about what Project Split Shot actually is. And I know that we asked you to do this, I think, about 2 meetings ago, and you gave an overview 2 meetings ago as to what Project Split Shot was and what it was not. And I hate to ask you to do that again, but I want to make sure that the public hears exactly, again, what this project is and what it is not. If you would, please, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to do it, Mr. Supervisor. It's no problem at all. And what Project Split Shot is, I mentioned this at the December meeting. It was a busy meeting. There was a lot going on at the time. But this is a project contained entirely in Florence County. So this is not a project in Williamsburg County at all. And this is Pret Advanced Materials is the name of the company. And what they're doing, they're asking us to include certain properties related to this project, Project Split Shot, which is Pret Advanced Materials, to include properties within our existing multi-county industrial park agreement between Florence and Williamsburg County. What that effectively means is that Florence County is going to share a portion of the tax revenues with Williamsburg County. It does not require us to provide any land. It does not annex any land into Florence County. It is just an identifier, think of it like a tag applied to parcels for this project, and Florence as part and parcel of putting it in this agreement will send us a portion of those property tax revenues every year.
So it's mailbox money.
That's correct. And again, it's not in our county. No portion of this project is contained within Williamsburg County. We just have to assent. Either they can get us to assent to it, or they could ask another county, do you want the property tax revenues, and they can give it to that county. So all they're asking for is our assent. There's not a catch on the back end of this that allows some sort of backdoor use of our land. It's entirely contained within Florence County, and we don't grant any incentives from Williamsburg County.
Right. So let me go back over that again. I want to make sure that we're clear. So none of this project is in Williamsburg County.
Correct.
All right. And this is a manufacturing company that is expanding in Florence County.
Correct.
This is not a solar farm project.
Correct.
I'm going to ask you that again. This is not a solar farm project.
Correct.
It is a manufacturing project.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Anyone of the members of council with any questions for Mr. Kopp? Anyone? Any additional information you want to add, Mr. Kopp?
I'll defer to.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes,
members of
ma'am.
council, according to the press release issued by the governor, Pret Advanced Materials is investing $18.5 million and will create 74 new jobs. It is an expansion at the old Wellman facility. As previously discussed at our last council meeting, Pret is a compounder and supplier of thermoplastic resins. They have operated in South Carolina since 1955. They're adding new equipment to the facility, located at 520 Kingsburg Highway, and bringing additional jobs. They are expected to be online by 2027. And there's a contact number for individuals interested in joining the Pret team. It is a expansion already for an already existing manufacturing facility in Florence County. It's an expansion of the multi-county industrial park that allows them to get certain tax incentives from Florence County. and that's the way the state law works. That's how they offer those incentives, and that's how we share in the portion of the revenue.
Excuse me, where is this located in Florence County?
The old Wellman facility.
No Wellman over in Johnsonville. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Anyone else with any questions for Mr. Kopp or Attorney Schuler? Any other members of council with questions? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. That will bring to end the public hearing. At this time, we're going to call to order the regularly scheduled council meeting for tonight. And we're going to ask Councilman McKnight if he would lead us with the invocation this evening.
Yes, sir. Will you please bow your head? Heavenly Father, thank you for granting each and every one of us the opportunity to serve Williamsburg County and their citizens. We ask that as we come, that we do what's right in your sight, dear Lord, that we have patience and understanding and do the work of the citizens that's needed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you so much, Councilman McKnight. All right, ordinances. First on the agenda, ordinance third reading and adoption of ordinance number 2025-12, an ordinance authorizing the enlargement of the Joint County Industrial Park between Florence County, South Carolina, and Williamsburg County, South Carolina, to include Project Split Shot and other matters related thereto. Prior to me calling for a vote, I do want to clear something up for those of you that are here, and also for those of you all that are looking now, that are viewing this meeting now, and will be viewing later. The reason why they use these code names is because they have to keep certain parts of these agreements private while negotiations are going on. It's not to try to hide anything from the public, certainly not to be where we're not being transparent. These are private companies, and they have to protect themselves and protect their interests. And so I wanted to be sure and put that out there tonight to make sure that people understand why that's done and why we have to wait until a lot of times we end up waiting until the third reading before we give more information about those particulars. All right, is there a motion to is there a motion to accept and adopt ordinance number 2025-12? Is there a motion? Yes, sir. So we have a motion. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and properly seconded. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, please let the record reflect that ordinance number 2025-12 has been approved and has been adopted. It has been approved and has been adopted. All right, third reading and adoption of ordinance number 2025-13, which is an ordinance accepting the transfer of certain authority to the Board of Elections and Voter Registration of Williamsburg County to conduct municipal elections for the town of Greeleyville. I want to, before we call for action on this particular item, I'd like for the county attorney to be heard on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of council. We traditionally have accepted the authority from other municipalities to conduct their municipal elections without any issue, and in this case, it certainly isn't something that I suggest that we don't do. However, we need the town of Greeleyville to adopt the schedule that we follow for the other municipalities so that we can do things uniformly. So it's my request that council move to postpone third reading of ordinance 2025-13 until the town of Greeleyville can give us a revised ordinance that has a schedule that coincides with the county elections, the other municipal elections held within the county.
Madam County Attorney, I think there's a move across South Carolina to have the municipalities to have their elections in the odd years in November. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Okay. All right, anyone with any questions for the county attorney as it relates? And so you're asking council that you would recommend that we make a motion to postpone?
Yes, a motion to postpone until the town of Greeleyville provides a ordinance that that has the schedule attached with their municipal elections. And if you put, a motion to postpone only requires a majority, but if you put the time frame on it that until the town of Greeleyville adopts the ordinance conferring the power for the county to conduct their municipal elections in connection with the other municipal elections, since there's a time frame that I'm asking, then we need a 2/3 vote on that, on the motion and on the vote.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to postpone ordinance number, 2025-13? Motion to postpone.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion.
Mr. Supervisor, is that motion to postpone contain the time frame until such time as the town of Greeleyville changes their ordinance to confer the authority to the county on the same time frame?
Madam County Attorney, you're asking the chair to remember quite a bit of information there.
I'm asking for the motion to be that that we postpone third reading until such time as the town of Greeleyville amends their ordinance to include timing for their municipal elections.
Okay. Now I've got a motion. I've got a motion on the floor. I think Councilman Floyd, Vice Chair, put the motion on the floor. Do you want to rescind your motion?
I'll add to it.
Okay.
I'll just add to it in conjecture with the motion for it to be postponed or tabled until such time as the town of Greeleyville has conducted the necessary procedure for it to be ripe to be voted on by Williamsburg County Council under the advice of Ms. Schuler.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Are you ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, please let the record reflect that passed. The motion passed. All right, thank you all so much. All right, committee reports. Bid committee, cost park improvements.
On
Councilman McKnight.
on December 4th, the bid committee met regarding bids for the Cost Park improvements. There was only one bid that was received, and that bid was non-responsive. For the record, we would like to reject that bid and have the whole job rebidded out at a different time. We'll go through the same protocols of getting the dates and time established, and the bid will be rescinded.
Okay. Okay. All right, very good. Thank you. We don't need a motion on that. All right. So your motion is to,
Our motion is to reject the bid
Okay.
from December 4th and have it rebidded.
got it. All right, is there a motion to reject the bid from December 4th for the cost park improvements project? So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, please let the record reflect that the motion has been carried to reject the bid. Thank you, sir. All right, other business. Council action is requested on the approval to submit an application concerning Williamsburg County Transit for FTA Section 5311 funding administered through the South Carolina Department of Transportation. Ms. Alicia Wigfall, the Williamsburg County Transit Director, is here to present as it relates to this. Good evening, Ms. Wigfall.
Good evening, County Supervisor, Mr. Washington, and members of the Council Board, and Happy New Year also to each of you. I stand before you this evening asking approval for Winsboro County Transit to submit their application for this fiscal year for FTA Section 5311 funding. Section 5311 is a rural area formula grant program that provides assistance to rural transit providers for reliable, safe public transportation. With your approval this evening, this allocated amount of 1.2 mil, which consists of a federal share amount and a state mass transit fund amount, will assist with the expenditures in the areas of operations, administration, and capital. With administration, it's at 80% federal share, operations is at 50% federal share, and capital is at 20% federal share. State mass transit funds takes care of 10%, along with the local match, which is 10%. Please keep in mind that Section 5311 is the backbone of rural transit providers. It is what keeps our buses maintained and moving, our passengers being transported, as well as our facilities maintained. So I respectfully request your motion to approve this application tonight. Thank you.
All right, any of the members with any questions for Ms. Wigfall? For those of you all who have been on council for a while, this is an annual thing that the transit director has to do. They have to come before us and get our permission to apply for this funding. Anybody with any questions for Director Wigfall? Is there a motion to approve her application for 5311 funding through SCDOT?
Motion to approve.
So we have a motion to approve. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, please let the record reflect that the motion has been carried and approved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next order of business, council action is requested on the approval to submit an application concerning the FY 26 EPA Brownfield Coalition Assessment Grant. We have both Mr. Kopp here and Ms. Harrison. Mr. Kopp, the Economic Development Director, and Ms. Harrison, the Grants Administrator, are both here and can answer any questions that you all might have. Mr. Kopp, do you want to give us a brief overview of this application and what brownfields are?
Yes, sir. Happy to do it. So what we're applying for is EPA grant to assess brownfields, and that's a fancy term, but what that basically means is property where expansion, redevelopment, or reuse of which may be complicated by the presence or potential presence of hazardous substances, pollutants, or contaminants. And so just for you all's knowledge, we have done one of these EPA grants before in the past. So this is we have some experience in a county of having done one of these grants before and having been awarded one of these grants. I would also note that in the last fiscal year 25, the EPA awarded over 200 of these grants nationwide. So this is a very, very popular program for use. Part of the reason why we have decided to pursue this grant was in part because of people's responses on the comprehensive plan and also from my personal experience. One of the things that I noticed not only in the survey responses but also in my own personal experience driving around the county was that a lot of people were telling us, well, there's a lot of really blighted properties around. And it's sometimes difficult to redevelop or reuse those properties if we don't know if there's any contaminants. And so what this grant will do will provide funding for us to perform those professional third-party assessments, not the county won't, but to get a third party who's unbiased to perform those assessments. And so that is the goal of the grant. One of the benefits is that the county does not have to own the site. So nobody's required to give us their property. We don't have to take any property. The county does not have to own the site for us to perform these assessments on it. And also, one of the things that I would also mention, according to the EPA itself, 33% of the assessments that they perform through this grant come back that there is no contamination and that it's ready for redevelopment. So this is a big factor in helping to remove the fear behind these sites potentially being contaminated. And so it's really, it's a sticking point for folks. And so one of the other things I think is really important, we're going to be applying for $1.5 million in funding to spend over the course of 4 years. And so we'll be partnering with a number of our towns to perform this grant. And I would make sure to note, and for you all's record, I think this is superlative, there's a no cost share required from the county. So this is, we do not have to provide matching funds. This was waived under Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, that we have to provide a cost share. That can change in the future. So now is the time for us to capitalize on that 0% cost share to help get these reports done and get these properties up to knowledge on what any potential contaminants may be found on site, if any.
All right, thank you so much. Do any of the members have questions for Mr. Kopp? Anyone with any questions for Mr. Kopp?
Just one, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Supervisor. Thank you, Ms. Scott. Just quickly, I was reading the sheet that was given to us. This doesn't bootstrap us to any particular project of any kind. It's just saying, in other words, if they do the survey and it qualifies, we're not obligating ourselves for any type of industry, anything like that, are we?
No. So what it is, this grant will perform the this is just right now in this phase for the assessments. But the assessments will be part, if people want to pursue further grant funding,
Right.
will be very helpful to have the
Sure,
assessments to do.
absolutely. But I just want to make sure we weren't like obligating, if they come in, they do the survey and it qualifies, that we're not already committed to pursue any particular one industry or the other. We're not doing that through this grant if they give us this grant.
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Supervisor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Kopp, is there any requirement, if we are awarded, this grant, is there any requirement on the county's behalf that we would be responsible for any cleanup or anything of that nature should the assessment determine that a particular property is contaminated in some form or fashion?
I'll need to look into making sure that that is exactly the case, but that is part of the reason why we're not submitting county-owned, these county-owned sites aren't a part of this grant. And so these will be, again, this is just a pure benefit for them to say, we can have the reports done, and then I would leave it to the reports to find what they're going to find on that front. But no, in terms of the liability, we're not going to be submitting county-owned sites.
All right. But even the privately owned properties, there won't be any responsibility on the county as it relates to any cleanup if it should be found that there needs to be one.
I'm not aware
Okay.
at this time.
All right, very good. Anybody else with any other questions? All right, is there a motion to approve the submittal of the application concerning the FY26 EPA Brownfield Coalition Assessment Grant? Is there a motion to approve? So we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Please let the record reflect that the motion to approve, it has been passed. The motion to submit the application for the FY26 EPA Brownfield Coalition Assessment Grant, that motion has been approved. Thank you so much, Mr. Kopp. All right, confirmation of appointments to the boards, Library Board, Planning Commission, Airport Commission, Rural Fire, Williamsburg County Enterprise, Community Commission, and the Animal Shelter. There's no action required on this. I think the clerk has already provided you all with all of the names of the current folks that are assigned to these commissions. There's a couple of those commissions that have vacancies, and we would like to get those vacancies filled as quickly as we can. So if you all could provide us with that information before the next council meeting, that would be great. Anyone with any questions about that? All right, very good. All right, so there's no executive session tonight. Are there any reports from any of the members of council? Any reports from Any other members of council?
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes, sir.
no reports. However, I am asking, I know that this time of the year is the time that we do all of our audits. Where are we with our audit process?
It's in process. We are working very diligently on them. I can get you a more detailed report at the next meeting. Someone else?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. For District 4 constituents, just a reminder, you will be seeing flyers and information come out for Saturday, February the 21st. We will have Unseen to Seen, Awareness to Action, which is a session or seminar from Ms. Glenda Skipper, One Child at a Time, and Brian Zwolak Consulting Firm on gang awareness and trafficking. So just be aware that you will be receiving information, but that date is Saturday, February the 21st, from 9 to 12 noon at the Greeleyville STEAM Academy.
Thank you so much, Councilman Keels. Or is there anyone else? All right, our next meeting is Monday, February the 2nd. Okay, it's a new one. February 2nd at 6 p.m. The next meeting is Monday, February 2nd at 6 p.m. We certainly want to thank all of you all for being with us tonight, both in person and those of you all who have joined us through social media or who will be watching later on. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Supervisor.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you all so much. Let the record reflect that the motion has been carried. Thank you all so much.